Veil to the graveyard.
And Donegan chooses to bend that Nexus of Fate, but it, of course, does shuffle back in off the Search for Escanta. Looking for a fresh card there, but he's not under a whole lot of pressure here. It looks like Rosum's actually missing land drops, or missed one at least.
Yeah, just a bunch of blue and black lands otherwise. Ooh. Hostage taker with nothing to take. 2-3 beatdown plan.
Yeah, and this kind of stumbling from Rosum, even though he had two Thought Erasures and Donegan didn't really have a whole lot going on in the early turns. He just gave him way too much time. He was able to transform Search for Escanta and now gets Narsa on the battlefield going.
Ooh,
wow,
finds Reclamation. Yeah, Rosum knows about those two Nexus of Fate. You know, those Wilderness Reclamations plus that's going to be too much. Also, Rosum's deck, some of these games can take pretty long on Rosum's side of things to be able to close here. So,
honk, honk.
Concedes within 5 minutes.
He just got Canadian goosed. Got honked on.
Canadian gooses, of course, are majestic beasts.
Yeah, I mean, why don't you go ask like one of the Canadians what they feel about Canadian geese?
Gooses.
Gooses?
I thought you were intentionally making a Letterkenny reference.
Oh no, sorry.
All right, now I'm lost.
Oh, I'm just get honked on.
Is that a thing people say?
No, but I can't say the things I want to say because this is a PG show, right? So I got to come up with where it's like, that dude just got bopped.
Bopped.
Straight up. I don't know.
See if he can turn it around. He does get 2 sideboard games. Try not to get honked on twice.
Dude, somebody call Bugs Bunny because he's getting Looney Tunes. I don't know, man. What do you want from me?
Donegan's going to take advantage of the time afforded by finishing game 1 so quickly to pile shuffle.
Love me some pile shuffling.
Table count. All right, players drawing up opening hands for game number 2. Still less than 10 minutes into the match.
Yeah, I mean, that's impressive stuff for these two decks, which normally take quite a bit of time to win. Rosum obviously scooping about 20 turns too soon last game, but not too soon, but 20 turns earlier than when he would have actually lost. But, you know, that's Nexus.
So Thought Erasure, a couple Tamios, Chemist's Insight, Nexus of Fate.
And a mountain just flooded over there. I'm sorry. I have to keep pointing it out. I hate it so much. They're only foil.
Oh, yeah. Not a fan of cards only being foil.
So they are warped. And they have to have judge proxies because they're only foil.
That'd be a good one to have non-foil in these F&M promo packs they're rolling out.
Oh, yeah? Would it? Or can we just burn every copy and be done with it? It's going to be gone in like a month and a half, okay?
That's fair.
But still, come on.
We got to deal with it today and tomorrow, though. That much I can tell you. Rosum doing the Teferi thing. He's done the Teferi thing many times. Got a Time Raveler and a Hero of Dominaria.
Yeah, and he can draw Sept Thought Erasure if he has it, thanks to the plus from Time Raveler.
It's like a Veil of Summer and confusion ensues. What does this card do? Why are you doing this?
So I believe Donegan is casting this at sorcery speed, obviously because of the Time Raveler, and that's going to give his future spell uncounterable, but he's not going to get to draw a card off of it? Or, oh, because maybe your opponent controls the permanent? Maybe it's if your opponent controls a blue permanent? Or he drew an extra card and they're trying to figure it out. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I think Veil of Summer only checks on casting a blue or black spell this turn. More confusion ensues. Mercy me. What a match. All right, so we knew a card on the bottom. An extra card was drawn. Stuff scribed at the bottom stays where it was. The rest of the deck's going to be shuffled with that card. We track which one it was.
Aren't core sets supposed to be simple? Wasn't that the whole thing, like 15 years ago?
The core set has actually been a very significant struggle to execute in a set that you want to be standard legal, because you have to make it easy to understand enough for new players, but interesting enough for experienced players. And it's kind of tough to hit that sweet spot. Anyway, John Rosum is going to win game 2 here.
A 6-minute game. Two sub 10-minute games. It's 37 minutes on the clock here between these two heavyweights on the SCG Tour.
Ban Nexus of Fate. Stop printing core sets. That's what I'm hearing from you.
No, core sets are fine. Why make a card as like with so much text as Veil of Summer in a core set? You know, like why not just print a 1 green mana enchantment? Your cards can't get countered. The end. There's your hate card.
That card's not cool.
You know what's not cool? Absorb. Get out of here. Absorb's BS.
We don't see too many absorbs anymore anyway.
No, because of Teferi Time Raveler, which is also BS.
Not a fan of current standard, are you?
Oh, I love it. There are just some cards that just baffle me. Look, I'm trying to be the new Peace Oli. I gotta up my like incredulous level. You know, like, what are you doing?
You need a longer rant.
I mean,
yeah, I'd be ready to go off. Veil of Summer's got a light of fire that can only be quenched from 5 minutes of going off about it.
Look, they just want to make something that was slightly better than Autumn's Veil, because Autumn's Veil saw virtually no play, and it was supposed to be this like hoser card for blue and black decks. And now they basically made an Autumn's Veil that just had draw a card. So
ooh,
that is
talk
a nice
about
one. Veil
Veil of Summer being really good. Thought Erasure. Veil of Summer in response for Dylan Donegan. Draw a card because you cast a blue or black spell. I have hexproof from blue and black. You don't get to look at my hand. That is a blowout.
And it's even countered, so he doesn't even get the Surveil. Because when you target something that has hexproof, it is countered upon resolution.
So here's a Narset for Rosum. Try to make up some of this card disadvantage. He'll go to 3 on that. Finds another hoser from the core set.
I believe that is Noxious Grasp.
Destroys green and white creatures or planeswalkers.
Yeah, it's the black hoser for green and white.
Donegan just hitting land drops. Narset activates and misses for Rosum.
I found D-Spark.
Oh, sorry. He flipped the card down when I wasn't looking. Yeah, D-Spark was found.
But, unfortunately for Rosum, Narset doesn't find lands, and it looks like Rosum's just light on lands. Donegan, though, going to cast a Chemist's Saver to just draw 1 card, thanks to that Narset on the battlefield.
Shocks for a breeding pool. Here's a Shifting Ceratops. Give that 1 haste. Attack for 5.
I think Rosum has to chump here. I think that Narset's doing some work, but he disagrees. He could have chumped and then immediately untapped and played D-Spark to get rid of the Shifting Ceratops, because that has protection from blue. But obviously that Narset's already been cashed in, so it's not, you know, quite insane.
So there's a Teferi Time Raveler. Can't bounce the Ceratops, makes a token, draws a card. Ceratops comes at the Teferi, token block, Ceratops gets trample, another planeswalker down.
He just got yeeted on. That Shifting Ceratops has protection from blue and trample. Rosum.
It's mighty good against this Esper deck.
He has D-Spark. Just kill it with the D-Spark.
Rosum now has 4 mana. It's like a Dovin's Veto's in the hand. As you mentioned, D-Spark hanging out.
Unless I'm just blind or dumb, I don't know. I could be wrong. He also has the Noxious Grasp. He just tried to use his mana efficiently, and you saw him target the Ceratops. He thought that he could, right? Instead, chose 0 targets and still drew a card off the Teferi. Went for the chump block, and then it got trampled. Just the house of cards is falling apart.
Ceratops going to connect again. Rosum to 15 now. Not sure why this 2 isn't on the blast zone. That's been moving around. Donegan doesn't like it.
Well, putting a dice on your lands is really annoying when you're tapping and untapping your lands every single turn. So I kind of like how he's doing it, but he just needs to make sure he keeps it next to it so as to not misrepresent the game state.
Here's a Tameo, Collector of Tales. See what Rosum wants to do about this. Believe that he has a Dovin's Veto in hand. He's pretty constricted on mana the way this game's been going. Tamiyo does just resolve.
I'm very interested to see where the rest of this game goes for Rosum, because he's got access to a ton of cards in hand, specifically cards that can answer a lot of these permanents from Donegan, and it's just choosing to take like thwacks in the face from Ceratops, letting Tamiyo get a plus. Oof.
All right, so Noxious Grasp goes for the Planeswalkers. Veil of Summer counters that. Dovin's Veto tries to fight, and it's that a second Veil of Summer?
Yeah, 2 Veil of Summers, both cycling, and they counter the Noxious Grasp and the Dovin's Veto. Well, it's not even countering the Dovin's Veto, it's just my spell can't be countered.
Right, so now D-Spark on the Tamiyo. Ceratops still hanging out, but a second hero. Plenty of tokens online for Rosum. He's starting to get some momentum in his direction. Donegan to 13 here.
Yeah, he is turning the corner, and he was trying to play around those just like tons of Veil of Summer from Donegan. But this is get to a spot where Donegan has 5 or 6 cards in hand still, a mana advantage slightly, and Rosum only has 3 cards left to work with.
Here comes the Ceratops. Rosum to 8. Wilderness Reclamation, Memorial to Genius, untap all my lands. And there's Nexus of Fate. And Veil of Summer, we've seen that be really good in this matchup. There's fully 4 in Donegan's sideboard. We saw 4 in Abe Corrigan's sideboard earlier as well.
Honestly, it kind of makes it where you don't even have to play a lot of creatures in the sideboard anymore, because you have protection from all those counterspells.
Here's a Chemister's Insight on the bonus turn for Donegan. Plays a land, attacks with the Ceratops.
If I'm Rosum here, I'm triple blocking, I think. You got to get that Ceratops off the battlefield, because another Nexus or 2 means that you're just basically dead.
So everything gets in front, and Blast Zone takes care of the hero.
But it can't get Trample, I don't think, so he's not going to take any damage from it. But the Blast Zone was backbreaking.
So we go to Rosum, see what he can do about this. Here's a Narset. That's a lot of mana at sorcery speed. Donegan's going to respond by jump-starting Chemister's Insight, make sure he can draw both cards. Growth Spiral as well, draws another card. Puts a Breeding Pool in tapped. Casts an Ops, drawing a lot of cards in response. Now we see Narset resolve and a -2. Looks like a Thief of Sanity was among those cards, and it's just 4 going to the bottom.
That is a tilt.
This matchup does not look pleasant from Rosum's side of things, and yeah, he's seen enough. He's going to pick him up. Dylan Donegan, 2-0 over Jonathan Ross in